All right. Good afternoon. Yeah, it is afternoon now. It's 12 o'clock. I guess it is noon. Good noon, everybody. And welcome into a little forecast update we have here on the Southern Tennessee Weather Channel and our social media pages here in the Duck River Electric Weather Center on this rainy and icy Sunday across the area. Okay. So we're going to start off here with just going through a couple slides I have. And then we'll take some time and answer a few questions because the forecast is still a little iffy over the next few days, over the next few hours here. Not the forecast, but the weather is going to be iffy. I pretty much know what's going to happen, but it's still the weather conditions are going to be iffy over the next few hours here. So, weather headlines today: a wintry mess is ongoing across the region. Rain, a little bit of sleet and freezing rain as well. A flash freeze is expected this afternoon and into this evening, and cold weather really sets in as we head towards tonight, into Monday, and into Monday night and Tuesday morning as well. Okay. We do have multiple weather alerts in effect here for that. So, our winter storm threats, our icy threat is high. Impactful freezing rain continues across our northwestern zones as we head into the afternoon. Thankfully, we only have maybe an hour or two left of precipitation before moisture begins to pull off towards the east. Travel impacts, I've raised this up to the extreme level, okay? Widespread travel impacts are likely as a flash freeze occurs this afternoon and into this evening. Extreme travel impacts are expected here, folks. I do not take this very lightly when I say this, that there will be people that are caught off guard if you are out on the roads, especially this evening as temperatures begin to plummet very quickly. Any moisture that we have on the roads will quickly freeze into black ice. Now, thankfully, we will have a little bit of drying period, hopefully, but for most of us here, there's going to be widespread travel impacts with black ice, okay? Power outages are likely as we head towards the northwestern portion of our area, Murray, Marshall County, especially. That's a high risk now. And the tree damage is likely in the northwest as well. That's a high risk. Both of these from freezing rain that we've had overnight. Now, one thing that I want to also mention is that the wind speeds are going to be very strong this evening as that Arctic air begins to build in. So, any trees that are really close to coming down right now are probably going to continue and fall completely as we head towards the afternoon and evening hours with the strong wind gusts that I'm expecting. So keep that in mind that there is a lot of moving parts here with this forecast over the next few hours here. We have a flash freeze, we have high winds, not really high winds, but still, very strong winds. And we still have icy conditions, especially off to our northwest, where they have had a full-on ice storm today. Now, you're probably wondering in Franklin County, it's 40 degrees there, and you're wondering why in the world are we talking about an ice storm? Well, just off to the northwest, there is a very impactful ice storm ongoing. You can see some of the pictures. I do have some pictures I'm going to share here after a while as well on my page. So, these are all the winter weather alerts we have right now. A winter storm warning remains in effect here for Murray, Marshall, Bedford, Coffee, and Grundy County. There is no longer a winter weather advisory in effect for Moore and Franklin County, but do not let that catch you off guard because a flash freeze is still likely for our entire area. Okay, our entire area is going to get in on a flash freeze, and widespread black ice is going to be likely across the entire area overnight tonight. Okay, so keep that in mind. Very dangerous driving conditions are expected. Here are the temperatures right now across the area: 33 degrees in Shelbyville, 33 in Bell Buckle, 33 in Chapel Hill, 32 in Lewisburg, and you can see where the 32s are. That's where our ice storm has been this morning, and has continued into the early afternoon hours here. Now, off to the south, you see Winchester's at 43, Swanee 43, Altamont 44. Still fairly warm down in those areas, but 36 in Manchester, 34 in Tullahoma, 37 in Lynchburg. Those colder temps, below freezing temps, are going to ease towards you as we go into the afternoon hours, okay? So any standing water you have in your yard is going to be a sheet of ice tomorrow. Any standing water you have on the road is going to be a sheet of ice tomorrow, or tonight, really. This is really, something that I want to stress to everyone, that travel is not encouraged overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning due to the widespread black ice that is going to be possible across the area. Now, places off where we've had the ice storm, there's even going to be worse issues there because they've had ice all day and any slush is going to refreeze. And that's going to be even harder to get off the roads as we head later into this week compared to just the black ice issues that a lot of us are going to be dealing with. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at Futurecast here over the next few hours, showing the progression of the cold air. Okay. So let me stop that and we're going to restart it here. This is 12 o'clock noon, has a pretty good idea of where the freezing rain line is right now. It basically covers from Murfreesboro down to Unionville, down through Chapel Hill, Lewisburg, and basically points north and west. Okay, so northwestern Bedford County still getting in on the freezing rain. A good portion of Marshall County still getting in on the freezing rain. And off into the north and west into Murray County is also getting in on the freezing rain at this time. But you can see as we go towards 12:30, that pink continues to come on a little bit closer towards the east, and this will continue. This is 2 o'clock. The freezing line is right around the 231 corridor, 2 o'clock today. 29 degrees in Shelbyville. What does that mean? All the moisture on the roads are going to start freezing. And this is a very strong temperature range over a short period. We're talking maybe upwards of 10 degrees of difference between Manchester and Shelbyville. So you want to talk about the wind gusts that we're going to see with that temperature gradient. I could expect gusts, maybe upwards of 20 to 30 miles per hour as this initial front kind of pushes through here. This Arctic blast starts to push in, okay? As we head towards 3 o'clock, almost our whole area is below freezing. Columbia is in the teens. Columbia, Spring Hill, Mount Pleasant in the upper teens. Chapel Hill in the upper teens. We're in the low 20s by Sunday at 3 o'clock. Look at how fast we go from... it's 34 degrees here in Shelbyville right now, 33, and we're going to drop down to 22 by 3 o'clock p.m. So that's what I'm talking about, a flash freeze. We're going to freeze like that, okay? Everything, all the moisture is going to freeze just like that, right? So that's what I want to stress to everybody is to try to be off the roads as quickly as possible this afternoon, because once this flash freeze hits is when the travel impacts are really going to start setting in, okay? Really going to start setting in big time. So as we go through the evening hours, we're going to drop into the teens across the region. And I can't rule out a few isolated snow showers early on Monday morning. I don't expect this to be a lot, but we could have a few isolated snow showers early on Monday morning. But for the most part, I'm not expecting very many issues there. So by 6 o'clock a.m. on Monday, we're dry, right? We may have a few light snow flurries across the area. But, I really think that we're not going to have very much in the way of that across the region, snow showers, anything like that. But it is going to be very cold and it is going to be cloudy, okay? So now I want to look at wind gusts because, like I said, we're going to have wind gusts really start to pick up as this Arctic blast comes in. And I think this latest HRRR run really shows that well. Here's that Arctic blast coming in. We have wind gusts of 30 in Manchester, Tullahoma, Lynchburg, Winchester, up to 30 miles an hour. Shelbyville up to 30 miles an hour. And then as it continues to push off, we're going to have gusty winds through the evening on Sunday with gusts up to 15 to 20 plus miles per hour. So any trees that are damaged by ice accretion right now are just going to get worse. It's going to exacerbate the issues as we go towards the overnight hours tonight, okay? So please keep that in mind. I cannot stress enough how important it is that you, that you take this Arctic blast seriously as it starts to move into the region, okay? So let's go ahead now and look. I wanted to show this. I know we've already seen the ice accumulation for the most part. There's a little bit more time for a little bit more to accumulate. But I want you to look at this map here. This is a map that I put out, my forecast that I had. I actually made this forecast back on Thursday is when I started drawing these lines and stuff. And I updated it a few times. But this was pretty much the message that I'd been sending from the get-go. And for the most part, this forecast did very well. And you can tell that because the power outage viewer from Duck River Electric, you can see where all of the power outages are in this dark pink zone off in the northwest, in Murray County, in Marshall County, in northwestern Bedford County. That's because that's where we got most of the ice accumulation. Down in Franklin County and Grundy County, didn't see very much. A tenth to a quarter inch is what we about had before that rain transitioned over in Tullahoma, Manchester, Bell Buckle, Shelbyville. So this was my forecast that I made by myself with the data that I had available to me. And I think that I did extremely well with this forecast, especially considering all the variables that were at play over the past few days. So I don't mean to toot my own horn, but there were some people that were saying, "Oh, you did got this wrong," da, da, da. I feel like I did a good job here. Okay, so anyway, let's go into the road temperature forecast. Okay, so the road temperatures right now are around freezing off to the northwest and still above freezing here in the north or in the southeast. Okay, the southeastern areas, the road temperatures are below freezing. But let's see how quickly the road temperatures start to drop. By 4 o'clock p.m. on Sunday, we're down into the 20s for road temperatures. Okay, so that means black ice is going to be almost likely, 100% likely across a lot of the roads that do not have any time to dry off, because we're not going to have time to dry off that much. The moisture is not going to have time to dry off. So keep that in mind, that there is going to be a lot of black ice issues going into tonight, and the road temperatures do not improve. We're down into the teens by Monday morning for road temperatures. Okay, so the roads are going to be very cold. There's going to be a lot of ice, and we will see very little improvement on Monday. Likely, a few areas will get road temperatures to get up above the freezing mark, but those shaded areas, not going to see any improvement, right? So we could see road impacts well into the upcoming work week. So keep that in mind, okay? So now let's look at the Futurecast temperatures, okay? So this shows kind of where the temperature line is expected to be. And here by 2 p.m. already in the upper 20s along and west of US 231, along and east, still in the 30s or so, but we're getting down below freezing in Lynchburg and Tullahoma by 3 o'clock. And then everyone is below freezing by 3 o'clock p.m. today. And we're just going to get colder and colder, right? As we go deeper into the overnight hours, we're going to get super chilly all the way down to 6 a.m. here in the low to mid of teens across the area, and feels like temperatures below zero for some of us, okay? Wind chill values below zero. Speaking of wind chills, let's go ahead and look at them here. This is the latest run of my in-house model. Wind chills are already going to be in the single digits by 4 o'clock p.m. today. I mean, it's ridiculous how cold it's going to be with this Arctic blast moving in. And by 8 o'clock a.m. on Monday morning, -10. It's going to feel like -10 in Chapel Hill, or in Spring Hill, Chapel Hill, -7 in Columbia. And then, I mean, it's going to be nasty everywhere. This is all I got to say, is it's going to be nasty. It's going to be cold, and it's just not going to be fun, right? It's not going to be fun. And because of that, the National Weather Service has issued a extreme wind or a extreme cold warning for our area to try to let people know that it's going to get very, very chilly both Monday night and tonight and Monday night, okay? And if you don't have any power, make sure that you're conserving any heat that you can, right? Inside your home, don't open any doors or windows or anything like that, because you're going to need it tonight when it gets super cold, right? And I know that the linemen and Duck River Electric employees are working around the clock right now to help get power restored as quickly as possible. They're working their butts off. I promise you that, because I'm here at the office. They're working their butts off for y'all right now. So just make sure that you're giving the linemen the space that they need, and they're going to get your power on as quickly as possible. Okay. So let's go ahead here and look at the low temperatures for Tuesday. These are the forecast lows, right? So forecast lows for tomorrow morning probably going to be in the upper single digits, but lows on Tuesday morning are going to be between 0 and 10 degrees area-wide. A little bit colder the further north and west you go with the ice we'll have on the ground. And then the further south and east you go, a little bit warmer, but still warmer at 8 degrees. That's not going to be much warmer, okay? So this is going to be bone-chilling cold. That's why a lot of schools have already canceled for Tuesday too, because it's just going to be cold. It's going to be way too cold, okay? So let's go ahead and look at hour by hour here over the next few hours. 1 p.m., chance of rain showers, maybe some freezing rain mixing in there. The sunshine, it's not going to be sunny or anything. It's all clouds there. 33 degrees. 4 p.m. Mostly cloudy and 28 degrees, and 7 p.m. cloudy and 28 across the area. So a quick drop below freezing, and that flash freeze is what I'm most worried about here, and the potential black ice issues on the road. Okay, Monday 23 for the high. Tuesday 36 for the high. And you can see it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold over the next week. We're not going to get above freezing very much. Tuesday we're going to get above freezing for a little bit, and then next Sunday we're going to get above freezing for a little bit too. But it's going to be cold. Lows below or highs above freeze or highs below freezing, and lows in the teens and maybe even upper single digits across the area. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the analysis here showing kind of where the mixed precipitation is, where we have the freezing rain right now and where we have the normal rain. Most of our area is seeing normal rain from Bedford over to Coffee, Franklin, Moore, Grundy County, a lot of normal. But over here with the pinks, this is freezing rain still ongoing across Columbia, Spring Hill, Mount Pleasant, Chapel Hill, Lewisburg, Cornersville. Places that don't need any more are still getting it. Even up here in northwestern Bedford County, from Rover down to Unionville, they've had a lot of issues with freezing rain up that way too. And I do expect this line will continue to creep east a little bit as we head into the afternoon hours, but thankfully it looks like that the back edge of the precipitation is starting to creep in, and that dry air will dry us out fairly quickly as we get later into this afternoon. So I don't expect very much additional ice accretion on top of what you already have. But the black ice is what's going to be the big issue, the flash freeze with all the rain we just had. Let's look at the rain totals, by the way. We'll look at the past 2 days here worth of rain totals. Now, these are estimates from the radar, but Shelbyville, 1.13 inches of rain. 1.13 inches of rain in Manchester, too. 1.32 inches in Tullahoma. 1.5 in Lynchburg. 1.3 in Winchester. And 0.38 in Altamont. I think that's a little on the low end. But over here towards the west side of the area, we haven't had any rainfall accumulation at all because it's all frozen, right? It all fell as rain and fell to the ground and froze on contact with surfaces as freezing rain, right? So it's kind of what we're seeing across the area right now. The key takeaway here that I want everyone to know is that travel is going to become very treacherous in just a mere short period of time, right? I'm talking 2 to 3 hours at best you have to be able to get home if you're seeing rain right now, is what I'm saying. Because when that freezing line comes in, the temperatures are going to drop like a rock, and any moisture on the roads is going to freeze almost instantly. Probably within the first 30 minutes to an hour, we're going to start seeing ice pop up everywhere. Okay, so be prepared for a flash freeze and dangerous cold as we head towards tomorrow and Tuesday. Okay, I did want to look at the before we drop off here for the afternoon. I'll still have updates on my page, by the way. But before I got off this afternoon, I thought it would be nice if we did if we looked around on the cameras, because there has been a lot of you can see pretty well here the difference over the area from one side to the other, where we had a lot of ice and where we didn't have a lot of ice. And it lines up fairly well with what I was seeing. Here's Chapel Hill. It's all white. The trees are white. There's a glaze of ice on everything. This is a lot of ice that's on the ground here in Chapel Hill. Okay, so let's look at Columbia, or Cornersville now. It's a little bit more wet. But still, you have a pretty good amount of ice on things, kind of coating everything up. And here's Cowan. Just rain. Nothing. It's just raining in Cowan right now. I mean, there's hardly anything there. But you see all that rain? You see how the roads are glistening there? That's going to be ice in a few hours. Okay, that's what I want y'all to come away with here. Shelbyville. Let's look at Shelbyville. It's got a few more patches of snow and ice on the ground, but still we're above freezing and everything is mainly rain right now. But all of these roads that are white, or all these roads that are just wet right now, are going to be below freezing, and we're starting to see ice problems. We're going to see ice problems as we head towards the afternoon and evening hours this evening. And here's Winchester, just one more here that we'll look at, and a lot of rain. It's rainy. So it's crazy the difference between Winchester, where it's kind of rainy, and then you have Shelbyville that's kind of right in the middle between the heavy rain and the freezing line. So there's a little bit of ice still on the ground. And then you go towards Columbia and Chapel Hill, and you have a ton of ice on the ground, and it's an icy mess all over the place. So if that doesn't speak to the, to how incredible this forecast was, and how hard that everybody at the weather service and me and everybody worked very hard on this forecast here. And there were some pages that were calling for weather pages, weather enthusiasts, weather weenies, whatever you want to call them, that were calling for a foot of snow. I never once said that, and I said from the get-go that this could be a mixed precipitation event. And look at where we are now with freezing rain and sleet and rain and just everything, a little bit of everything across the area. So we will look here at the comments just real quick to see if there was anything that people wanted to say. Mr. Tidwell has 2.7 inches of rain in Flat Creek, so a lot of rain there. I think that's probably that's probably a little bit more. I do not have a Skycam in Huntland at this time. I would love to put up a camera in Huntland. If you are a business owner in Huntland that would like to put up a business or would like to put up a camera, then please let me know, because I would love to work with you and put up a camera. I would love to have one in Lynchburg. I'd love to have one everywhere. If you want to send me an email, ekirby@stnweather.com. If you have a business or something that wants to sponsor a weather camera and put one up, we would love to sponsor with you and get a camera put up, okay? But I appreciate you guys with let's look at the flash flood. Someone said they just got a flash flood warning. Let's see if that's true. It probably is. I need to. Okay, no, I'm not seeing that on my end. It could be a flood advisory. Let me look at the National Weather Service chat room here. Okay, so it's a flood warning. So there's a flood warning in effect for Moore and Franklin County now for all the rain. Like we're having a flood in one part of the area, and then we're having an ice storm in the other. I mean, it's a headache. It's a headache. That's all I got to say. Again, if that doesn't speak to how well this forecast that I put out, ended up working out and everything, then I don't know what will, because I think the work has spoke for itself over the past few days. So, thank you guys for tuning in this afternoon. To Franklin and Moore counties are under the flood warning. Okay, there's a flood warning, not a flash flood warning, but just a regular flood warning. Again, if you want to sponsor a weather camera, let me know. Send me an email, ekirby@stnweather.com. I would love to work with your business and get a camera put up. It's good. It's a lot of eyeballs on your business, and it's also a lot of eyeballs for the weather too. So, or any sponsorship, if your business is interested in sponsoring anything that I do here, send me an email, ekirby@stnweather.com. We're here to stay. Southern Tennessee weather is here, and we're not going anywhere. Okay. Yes, Matt. The Cornersville Camry is on the fire station in Cornersville on Sam Davis Highway. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will continue to have updates. Remember, try to be off the roads early this afternoon, because we do have that flash freeze that's going to overtake the whole area, widespread black ice issues, and increased wind speeds, especially in the areas where we saw ice, could induce a few more power outages. It may get a little worse before it gets better, okay? So keep that in mind. But Duck River is working hard to get your power back on, and I'm certainly trying to work as hard as I possibly can to keep you informed about the weather, okay? So thank you guys for tuning in this afternoon to our weather update, and I hope to see you around sometime other than this, doing a live stream, because I like doing the live streams, but I only try to do them during bad weather. So Terry had a good question before I get off here. Do you think the rain will freeze on the power lines too bad? If you're getting widespread rain right now and the temperatures are above freezing, you don't have to worry about it freezing on the power lines. A lot of us are going to get below freezing after the precipitation moves out, so I think that we're not going to see very many issues with ice freezing on the power lines. The only problems that we're going to have with power issues and ice from power issues from weather, I should say, and ice accretion are definitely going to be northwestern Bedford and Moore County, or excuse me, northwestern Bedford, Marshall County, and Murray County are my three kind of main areas that I'm watching for, weather related impacts as it relates to power. Now, the travel impacts will be great. They will be pretty substantial for all of us, okay? But the power line, the ice freezing on trees and power lines, just not expecting much of that if you're getting plain rain right now with temperatures above freezing, okay? The rain will refreeze into ice on the roadways. The rain will not refreeze into ice on the trees and power lines. There could be a very light glaze, okay? I'm not going to totally rule that out, but it's not going to cause widespread issues, okay, is what I'm trying to say there. The travel issues is what I'm most worried about, okay? So thank you guys for tuning in to Southern Tennessee Weather, and I hope to see you sometime soon. I might take the day off tomorrow from doing my normal forecast stuff. I had to wait and see, but I do plan on being back in the office sometime later on this week, probably Tuesday at the latest, and we'll get back to work and move on to whatever else Mother Nature has to throw our way. So we'll continue to have social media updates throughout the day, though. So thank you guys for tuning in to Southern Tennessee Weather, and I hope you have a blessed rest of your Sunday. And remember, stay off the roads after 3 o'clock. Don't go anywhere because flash freeze. All right, bye.
Accurate local weather without the mainstream hype. You're watching the Southern Tennessee Weather Channel.